Hi, my name is Debra R. Richardson of Debra R. Richardson LLC, and I work with you to help you clean up your vendor data, clean up your vendor processes, and pay the right vendor. Now, this week's Vendor Master File tip of the week is what is an active vendor? Now, I write and speak often about cleaning your vendor master file to ensure that you have truly active vendors and that those active vendors have valid and clean data so you can avoid fraud and compliance fines. Thus, right, I often talk about active vendors, but I haven't really defined what an active vendor should be in your vendor master file. So here it is. Now, simply said, active vendors are those vendors that your company is currently doing business with or has done business with in the recent past. Now, this means that the vendor has had activity in one of the three key areas. The first one is invoice activity. So an invoice match to the invoice or the information on the vendor record, such as the vendor legal name or DBA, remit address, payment location, etc. And as a result, it's successfully posted. Now, the second area is purchase order activity. So a purchase order is created or is still open, and that is based on information, again, from the vendor record, such as the vendor legal name, the DBA, the remit address, etc. And then the third one is payment activity. So a vendor was able to be paid by your company based on the information on the vendor record, remit address, banking information, etc. So if any of these functions occurred within the previous 15, 18, or 24 months, and you can choose based on what's best for your company, then that means that the information on the vendor record should still be valid and the vendor should remain active. Now, if you need to clean up your vendor master file, I will link to an on-demand webinar that has an 8-step process, and you guessed it, inactivating vendors is the first step. Now, if you'd like more information on how to improve your vendor process, please go to my site at debrarrichardson.com for free tools and resources to avoid fraud, regulatory data or regulatory fines, and bad vendor data. So good luck, and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified next Tuesday for the next Vendor Master File tip of the week.